After publishing, then deleting all of its supplemental essay prompts earlier this summer, Cornell University has republished its supplemental essay prompts for the 25-26 admissions cycle, and one essay prompt in particular has been ever so slightly edited to comport with the expectations of the Trump administration. That is the topic of today's video. My name is Craig Meister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is collegemeister.com. And if you're interested in learning about whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America, visit areyoontracktogetin.com. Again, that's areyoontracktogetin.com, at which you will complete a free 3-minute assessment. Your results will be emailed to you right away, and they will help you clarify whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America. So take a look at this. Take 1 and take 2 of the Cornell University first essay question on its supplement for the 25-26 admission cycle. The prompt you see at the top is the prompt that was published earlier this summer. Then it and all the other supplemental essay prompts for Cornell were deleted. But Cornell University has now published on its website again, though it's not yet on the Common App as of this video filming, its supplemental essay prompts for the 25-26 admission cycle, and the new prompt that is sort of the marquee Cornell prompt that all Cornell first-year applicants have to complete or respond to is at the bottom of your screen. And you can see that the powers that be at Cornell are very stubborn people, and that the powers that be in the White House are not quite the fascists that the liberal intelligentsia make them out to be. Because what you're seeing here is that Cornell is going to get the information it wants one way or the other, and it's going to make as few concessions to the Trump White House as possible in order to solicit out of its applicants the information that it wants. So let me take a look at this with you. The first prompt on the Cornell supplement initially was written as follows: "We all contribute to and are influenced by the communities that are meaningful to us. Share how you've been shaped by one of the communities you belong to. Remember that this essay is about your lived experience. Define community in the way that is most meaningful to you. Some examples of community you might choose from are family, school, shared interest, virtual, local, global, cultural." Now, the big no-no here from the Trump administration's perspective was your lived experience. That is a no good term in the eyes of the powers that be in the Trump White House. So as a result, Cornell was willing to give on that. But that's about it. I mean, they also, of course, are not alluding now to cultural in the new prompt. Let's take a look at the new prompt. This is the one that's comporting with any sort of settlement that Cornell is going to engage in with the Trump administration. "We all contribute to and are influenced by the communities that are meaningful to us. Share how you've been shaped by one of the communities you belong to. Define community in the way that is most meaningful to you. This community example can be drawn from your family, school, workplace, activities or interests, or any other group you belong to." So you can't see me, but I'm basically throwing my hands up here because this is not that big of a difference. This was not really worth completely unpublishing your supplement for, Cornell. But this is what it seems to be as of this date. Cornell unpublished its supplement for, just to make these very slight adjustments to the main Cornell University supplemental essay prompt that all Cornell first-year applicants are going to have to respond to. What a pathetic display by both sides in this quarrel. Because again, Cornell is digging in and basically saying, look, we want you to talk about a community. If you want to go down the rabbit hole, if you will, of your race, by all means, you can do it. We're not going to stop you from doing it. We're not going to give you as much rope with which to do it like we did last year, but you can still do it. And we're not going to use the ridiculous term lived experience anymore because, yes, it's a ridiculous term, but we're going to get enough out of this prompt that we don't have to use it. And the Trump administration looks frankly pathetic in my mind because this is what they fought for. This is all they fought for. My goodness. So you got rid of the word lived experience and the word cultural is not mentioned here. So, there's less leading language than there was before. But otherwise, if someone wants to talk about being the only Hispanic at a PWI, as the acronym goes, predominantly white institution that they go to high school in, they can still talk about being a member of the minority or minoritized community at that PWI. And let me tell you something. The powers that be at Cornell are going to fell over themselves and fall over themselves to accept that student if they can at least produce some sort of respectable score. But this whole thing is so ridiculous. This identity obsession that the powers that be at these colleges have is not going to stop. I tell you, it's not going to stop. And they are going to accept the types of students they want to accept come heck or high water. If this is the only way in which they edited it after being in some sort of settlement agreement with the Trump administration, oh my goodness, the people at Cornell are going to go off the cliff trying their darndest in order to create the diverse student population they want in their entering classes. And the essays will continue to be the forum by which Cornell gets away with the social engineering it wants to get away with in its entering classes. Now that's the story. I'm not going to give you feedback today on how you should answer this prompt because I've done so before because the prompt basically hasn't changed. So you can watch that video linked in this video's description. At the end of the day, as I've been saying since 2023, the little wiggle room that was given by the Roberts Supreme Court was going to be driven through with a Hummer by the councils and the consultants advising the admissions offices at all these colleges. Until you remove the people who've been discriminating so blatantly, so flagrantly for so long in these admissions offices, you're not going to see really measurable change in the outputs, which are the actual entering classes, until there is no way to ascertain one's race. Very little will change. We're just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic because as long as there is a way to identify each and every applicant racially and ethnically and just generally demographically, all of which is most likely to occur at this time through one's essays and one's letters of recommendation, the people in the office that have worked there for years are inculcated in searching out that information about the applicant's race and ethnicity and gender and sex, all this stuff. And they can't drop it. They cannot drop it. They will not drop it. Wholesale firings in these admissions offices are not on the horizon. But that's what it would obviously take in order for there to be any normalcy brought back to an admissions office like that at Cornell, or for goodness sake, at Penn or any of these other schools where they've just completely flown off the handle, the people working in there, and they're not going to quit until they are forcibly dragged out. They will remain. The Japanese holdouts in Southeast Asia and the Pacific Islands after World War II have nothing on your average Ivy League admissions officer. They are not going to give it up. They believe in what they've been doing for all these years. So come heck or high water, they're going to continue doing it. They can sign a consent decree for all I care. They're not going to change. And they're going to want to continue to assess you based off of your lived experience, your race, your ethnicity, and your gender, whether or not those words are used in their supplemental essay prompts or not. Before we go, I want to remind you that I've launched a new course, 17 Silly Mistakes That Even Ivy League Applicants Make, on the Common App. This course gives you the information you need to make sure that your application doesn't fall down on the job where so many applications sadly do. The undeniable fact of the matter is that many strong students who should be strong college applicants are making silly mistakes on the Common App. And guess what? This is even happening to students aiming for Ivy League admission. So if you are serious about earning admission to the Common App colleges on your list, make it a priority to enroll in my course, 17 Silly Mistakes That Even Ivy League Applicants Make, on the Common App. You'll be glad you did. And when you've finished your Common App and want to know if it's as strong as possible and whether or not in its current condition your chances of admission are impressive, inconclusive, or inadequate, you need my pre-read. Getting my pre-read now means having me review your entire application, just like an admissions officer or admissions committee will review it later, and receiving by email no later than the time you reserve a comprehensive report highlighting what's working and what's not on your full Common App and one Common App supplement. If you've yet to submit your Common App, my pre-read may motivate you to make adjustments to it before your deadline. If you've already submitted your Common App, my pre-read will prepare you for what I deem to be your likely admissions outcome at the institution in question. To purchase my pre-read now, go to mypreread.com. Again, that's mypreread.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process, go to my website, which is collegemeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.